the Wednesday, November 1st, 2023 electronic meeting of the Cable Communications Commission. I would like to give special recognition to CTN in Ann Arbor, celebrating 50 years serving the greater Ann Arbor community and beyond. This meeting is being held remotely, and we intend to conduct this meeting similarly to an in-person meeting. However, please be patient if there are technical issues. Public comment will be via telephone only. To speak during any of the public comment opportunities, please call 1-877-853-5247 or 1-888-0099 and enter meeting ID number 530-745-4665. This information is also available on the published agenda in the public notices section of the City of Ann Arbor website. To comply with the requirements of the Open Meetings Act, the Communications Director will call roll, and each voting member in remote attendance should answer present and include where they are calling in from, city and state. This information will also be included in the meeting minutes. Lisa Rundrich will call roll for each voting member.
Lee Ramirez.
Here.
Where are you calling from, Tony?
Ann Arbor.
Thank you. David Pittman.
Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Thank you. Tom Wright.
Southfield, Michigan.
Bonnie Gabowitz.
Pittsfield Township, Michigan.
Zach Damon. Not here. Thank you. Can we get someone to move the approval of the agenda and second it?
I move to approve the agenda.
I'll second it. Oh,
I'll second it.
Thank you. And the approval of the February 12th, 2023 minutes. Did anyone have any questions on that? If not, if someone could move to approve those.
I move to approve it.
I move to second it.
Thank you. Now, Tom, we could go through the public commentary instructions. Thank you.
Not a problem. This is an opportunity for persons to speak up for up to 3 minutes. To participate, please call 206-337-9723 or 213-338-8477 toll free, and enter meeting ID 922-8058-3983. This information is also available and displayed on the meeting agenda on the City of Ann Arbor website. City staff will select callers that have raised their hand one by one using the last 3 digits of your phone number. In order to electronically raise your hand to indicate your desire to speak, please press 9 *9 on your phone. You will hear an automated announcement that the host is allowing you to speak. When speaking, please move to a quiet area and mute any television or background sounds so that we may hear you clearly. Please state your name and address.
Just give it a minute to see if there's anyone calling in. Okay, why don't we move into the CTN quarterly report from Greg McDonald?
Okay, so I'm gonna just review the highlights, actually, since it's been a couple of quarters since we've been together. I'm gonna go back over the highlights for the last couple of reports, just to review them. Should have already seen these, but I'll just go over them all. What continues on basically every report, we're continuing our coverage of city meetings, both virtual and in-person, hybrid in-person meetings. We also resume participating in high school CR student program, and that's continuing even to now. In the early part of the year, January, February, we started producing Around Ann Arbor. It was short little informational segments about things going on around town. Also in February, we had a power loss, which I think a lot of people did. So we were down for 4 days due to that storm. And then we also, in that time period, we produced our 8th season of Let's Watch with the Ann Arbor Film Festival. We began or completed our coverage of our high school winter sports, and in the spring sports began. Also in the early part of the year, we began posting additional city meetings online. Some of the boards and commissions that we cover also hold additional meetings that we don't cover, like work sessions or committee meetings. And they've been doing them in Zoom, so they asked us if they would record them, if we could post them online. So we've been doing that. And then when we got into spring, like the April to June, we also started airing a sustainability series, A20 Sustainability. We also resumed utilizing the City Hall basement conference room for live meeting coverage. We only have a couple meetings that happen down there, but some of the groups prefer the smaller space instead of the council chambers. The other thing that happened in that time period was our AT&T encoder failed. And so we purchased a new one that came in July, and we're actually still having some issues with it. So that's sort of an ongoing issue with our signal that goes to AT&T. And then in June, we did the high school graduations, as we have always done. As we got farther into the summer, this last quarter in July, we produced art fair programming. We had 2 crews of video camera crews roaming around, interviewing artists as well as fair goers. We also, over the summer, we held 2 media production camps for some of our younger kids, and those went off very well. And then another thing that we began was working with our IT department. There are now plans for upgrading the council chambers, the technology in the council chambers room, and included in that is some of our technology. It's to make the room somewhat more user-friendly, as well as currently the council chambers is used primarily for meetings, but other groups will also use it because it's a large open space where you can hold a meeting with a lot of people. But unless CTN is there, you cannot have a Zoom incorporated into your meeting. in the space. So that's part of this upgrading the technology of the room so that you could have a hybrid meeting, whether CTN was there or not. And then in order to do it well, we have to upgrade some of our equipment as well so that we can continue to cover everything that happens in there that we do right now. Let's see. We also began working on with the Office of Sustainability on planning a new program. I'm not sure if they've got everything worked out yet, but it looks like it's going to start pretty soon. We also, over the summer or in September, we conducted a one-night smart device workshop for the public, and we have another one coming up. I think that's next week. And then some good news was the philo competition that we enter our programming into. We had 3 finalists and 1 first place for programming that we submitted into that. And then the other thing to note was our staff had some training in the DDA, the Downtown Development Authority. They hold monthly meetings, and they meet in their office, which is sort of kitty corner to City Hall, and they have their own little production system there. And they asked us a while back if we would be able to help them out and actually do the work to cover the meeting for them. So our staff has undergone some training on their system. And then it was supposed to begin last month, but they didn't end up having a meeting last month. So today is actually the day that we started covering their meetings. And high school fall sports just wrapped up. And now we're into a little bit of a lull in some of the sports stuff, but everything else is continuing as normal. And that's the CTN report for the last 6 months.
I add an exciting piece of news that both Melissa and Craig know about that just happened about some new programming we're going to be able to bring back to CTN.
Okay.
I, about 10 years ago, started working with what was known back then as the Legacy Project with Skyline High School with Patricia Jenkins. I ran into her recently in town. She's connected me with the 2 new lead people at Skyline High School, and they want to start through me and the show that I'm going to produce, showing their videos for the first time, as they always should have been, on CTN. And they were totally unaware at Skyline about the great training that goes on at CTN. So I am going to make sure that we connect their leaders with the folks like Jamie and everybody at CTN so that they can be far more efficient. And they have given me access to over 170 videos they've produced over the years. And they are looking forward to having them on a half-hour show each week on CTN. I've already organized the first 7. Craig has been a great help in helping me organize everything. And to have one of the premier Ann Arbor public school programs that focuses on videos partnering with CTN makes me very happy.
Great.
Thanks, Tom.
You're welcome.
We didn't have any regular business to cover, but I did just have a couple comments for the commission, staff comments. So are there any commission members that had comments that they wanted to make? I didn't want to go in front of anyone. Or if you think of anything, you can come after me. But just our next meeting will be February 7th. Wednesday, February 7th. And then I also wanted to note, and I know I had communicated to the commission via email when it actually occurred, but we haven't had a meeting since then. Our city council did take action in September to purchase 3021 East Miller. for an election center, which will help move forward our election security and have a city-owned building for election activities, which is great for the city. However, as it pertains to CTN, we eventually would be relocating from our current space, which is rented, into the city-owned space. However, we have a current lease, so this would not take place anytime before August 2026. So that's several years out. Therefore, we don't have anything to report that pertains to CTN right now. This property would first be utilized for the 2024 general election. So there will not be any CTN activities that are taking place there or any movement on our end. After that time, we would then be actively working to build a new studio and to start a plan for our eventual move there. But I just wanted to make note of that for our general public. I know it's been reported widely on MLive and in other media about the election center, but also the fact that CTN eventually will be joining our election staff there. So if there's any questions, let me know, or as they come up, feel free to send me an email. If anyone has any questions, I'll try to answer them. But like I said, we're 2 years out for any kind of movement, so I might not be able to answer everything right now. Tony, did you have a question? It looked like you were gearing up. No? Okay.
I actually had a quick question just for Greg from the programming report. Just curious about the coverage for the winter sports. What's the plan? How many, what extent the coverage will we have for the winter sports? How many schools are you going to be covering, and how many games, or how do you guys have planned for the summer or for the
winter? For winter, he's still working out the schedule. Typically, they do the main 3 main Ann Arbor high schools that have basketball and hockey, and then like with football, they'll spread it out to capture some of the surrounding schools when they come and play Ann Arbor. So they did Dexter this year. And I think they did a Pinckney game. They've done. We try to spread it out a little bit to capture some of the other ones as well. And then it's trying to mix in not just like boys basketball, but also girls basketball. Sure. And then you've got ice hockey, and then I don't know if it was volleyball in the winter, or maybe it's women's water polo. There's a try to mix it up so we get both sides.
Get some variety. Awesome.
And excellent. He tries to match up, get an even number of all the schools in there too.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions?
Can I make a comment?
Sure.
I want to compliment the great staff at CTN in the city of Ann Arbor that helps support this great resource for the city of Ann Arbor. You all do wonderful work. I know that so much work is done behind the scenes, and I've worked with other community access TV stations over the years. I would say this is the finest in the state of Michigan. So thank you all for the work you do. Thank you for our members making this what it is.
Second that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
I'll note finally, before we have a call for to end the meeting, that in addition to, as Tom noted, CTN is celebrating our 50th anniversary, but the city in January will begin celebrating our 200 bicentennial. So CTN will actively be involved in promoting all of those activities that will not just be in January, but throughout 2024. So we've already started. There's a bicentennial committee that's actively working. There will be many, many events throughout the course of the year. and CTN will be helping us and promote all of those. So that's just a heads up for the next time we meet in 2024. It's almost winter. It feels like it. Is there anyone who wanted to recommend closing the meeting?
I'll recommend closing the meeting, but can I also honor or Halloween? I have a stuffed animal. I want to show a stuffed animal on Halloween, just to end the meeting on a funny note.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thanks, Bonnie. All right. Well, that wraps it up. Thanks all.
Thank you, and thanks for all the great work you all do.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Yeah.
Good night.